Hi, Andrew here from The Investor's Way, and welcome to day 3 of my 30-day challenge where I'm doing a video a day trying to answer questions that you're putting to me via Facebook and leaving comments at the bottom of these videos. So feel free to leave me a comment and let me know what might be troubling you when it comes to money. And today I'm going to address a question from Kathy, which is a great question and opens up quite a vast array of issues in relation to money, but I'm going to try and keep it reasonably focused so that we can give Kathy a little bit of advice that hopefully will help her on her way. And so Kathy asks, I'm directing some money into a saving account each month that I don't look at, but that's all. There's a 5-figure sum in there now. Obviously that's not much better than putting it under the mattress in terms of return on investment and what comes next. So, as I said, it's a fantastic question and it has multiple layers in order to answer it. And so I'm going to try and keep it reasonably simple. And at the same time, I'm going to make a couple of assumptions along the way in terms of how we can help Kathy out. And so the first thing is that a 5-figure sum sitting in a bank account earning interest sounds really good and it's a great start. And the first thing we need to understand is does that cover 3 months worth of your living expenses? So when I'm coaching my clients on how to move forward with their investing, before we get into the really exciting stuff of putting money into various investments, we need to make sure that we have what I call an emergency buffer. Pardon me, that's an emergency buffer. And that's effectively 3 months of your living expenses. So the first thing for Kathy to consider is does a 5-figure sum cover that 3 months worth of living expenses? And if it does, then we move on to the next layer to answer this question, which is, do you have any debt? And if there's any debt, then we'd be looking to use some of your monthly income to eliminate that debt. And then once we've done that, we'd be looking to the next layer, which is to start investing some of that money. And that money could be going and should be going across at least 3 asset categories. And that's cash-based assets like bonds or fixed interest. And then we've got property and stocks. And for most people, they're scary. Stocks and property are not things that a lot of people have had exposure to, and they can be a little bit bewildering. But to get started, there's these fantastic new products called exchange traded funds, which are traded on stock exchanges, and they can get you exposure to all 3 of those asset categories in a stock. So people are reasonably comfortable once they get some basic information about stocks as to how they operate. You buy them and you hope to sell them at a later date at a higher price, and you're looking for stocks that can generate some cash flow. So Kathy, in terms of your response, I think we need to first identify to make sure you've got your emergency buffer. If you've got that in place and you've got no debt, or you're certainly working towards eliminating your debt, then we need to start putting some of that money toward cash generating assets because, as most people will understand, interest rates around the world are at pretty much all-time lows, and we need to ensure that we get our money working a little bit harder for us than what bank interest will do. So into something like an exchange traded fund, starting out with a little bit into stocks, a little bit into property related ETFs, and then moving some also into cash. So we're spreading the risk a little bit. So hopefully that gives you a bit of a head start on where to go. So the 3 layers, let's make sure we've got an emergency buffer, which is 3 months of your living expenses. Let's make sure we're addressing any debt that you have, and then start allocating some of that available money to what I call a wealth generator, which is those 3 asset categories. So hopefully that answers your question, and if not, leave me another comment in the comment section, and I'd happily come back, because that is quite a deep question with lots of layers for us to consider, and I can certainly go deeper if we need to. So yeah, please feel free to share these videos with your friends, leave me a comment, hit the like button. We all like to get that social engagement to boost the post so that more people can see this, and hopefully we can spread the word on how to take care of our money and take charge of our money. So once again, I'm Andrew from The Investor's Way. I'm dedicated to your wealth, and I look forward to speaking with you tomorrow.